Hey, morning, everyone. This is Trend Follower this side, and it's time for another weekly forecast. Today, we are talking about Feb second week. In this video, what we'll go through are some of the setups that I'm looking into. And the question is, how do I look into these setups? I focus on supply demand, ICD, and price action. So that's my primary focus. And today, we'll find what are some of the opportunities that we can take advantage of during the week. So before I start, I always like to look into what is the news going on, what's happening this week, and where the volatility can be. So let's start with the news this week. And what we have is this is again Feb second week. And what we have on Monday is ISM manufacturing PMI. So then on Tuesday we have job openings, employment change on NZD, and unemployment rate on NZD. So right now we have USD, NZD, and then what we have is Feb 5th, which is non-farm employment change, and ISM services PMI. So Feb 5th would be interesting. GBP, big news, official bank rate. Here, what is important to note is this is later in the week. And then we have USD unemployment claims, and Friday we have the most important news of the week. Um, with GBP is the non-farm employment change. This happens at the start of the month and is extremely important, can cause a lot of volatility. But we have to remember that GBP and USD news is at the end of the week, at the second half of the week, right? So our primary focus would be GBP, USD, NZD, right? So that's where we'll look into, according to the news. According to the strength, what we have is some themes going on in the background. Money is moving into JPY, it's showing strength, and one of the reason it is, like I should say two reasons. One is JPY interest rate, and the second is all the tariff news that is going on. So market is trying to go into safe havens, right? So I think that's one of the reasons with respect to strength. The In terms of weakness, there is one name that has started showing weakness like a lot is CAD, and that's again because of the tariff news. So what we'll do is now look at the setups. But before we look at the setups, I really want to take some time and focus on DXY, US dollar, because it's at a place where I think it will determine we may have to wait and watch a little in the initial part of the week because there are indications of strength, but my personal bias on DXY is is short. And that's crazy, right? Because we have this move. But I can explain my reasons, and I'm not saying I will just stick to this bias. I will wait for some price action. But my reason is basically, yes, we have this weekly candle, and yes, what we can see is this, right? Something like this. But this weekly candle is happening after this huge red candle on weekly, and there is a fair value gap, which basically means the momentum is legit and we didn't cover it last week. So what I would like to see is it goes above and then rejects, or like this, right? That's my that's my bias, that's my preference. That I think DXY, this up move is it took its liquidity. You cannot trust this up move. Now, if it comes here, that's a whole different thing, and maybe it does this. But I am mainly looking for DXY sells, and let me explain a reasoning a little more. So on DXY, you can see this weekly chart. Okay, gone. Now, the next part is some names, okay? Euro USD. Let's look at Euro USD, right? It just tested weekly level. This is where it bounced before, so it can do this. I'm not saying like just trade blindly, but I'm saying there's a good probability that it can do this. Now, it is possible again that it does this and then comes down, but I'm focusing on upside, and my reasoning is, look where uh Euro USD is. It just took the liquidity. On monthly, it has a perfect doji candle. So yeah, it can do this, right? It can come here, but I believe it shouldn't, and I will show you why. So if you look at Euro USD futures, you are at this awesome monthly demand. I don't think it should do this. Similarly, on GBP USD, look at this demand. I don't think you can say, oh, it should, sorry, it should do this. So I think this up move is coming from a legit monthly demand, and I don't think so. DXY can show strength. I think it should really show weakness. So this were uh, Euro USD and GBP USD. Then odd USD, look where it is, right? So it's in a great dealing demand. So the whole week, every USD name is in demand, right? And then talked about that weekly, I should say almost every name. And then I talked about the weekly fair value gap, which is very important. So that's why I'm not able to wrap my head around this DXY up move. I'm not able to trust it right now. So I want to see initial part of the week how it acts. Ideally, I would like to see it rejecting like this. Now, why is this box coming in? Where is this coming from? Look at this 4 hour. You had this awesome rejection. Ideally, you will take this. You already took it, but now you will test this and then fall down. Uh, Complete this gap most probably. So ideally, what I would like to see is this structure. So this rejection here should be very strong. So that's why I said there should be wait and watch. And if it doesn't do that, then you can play the up move, and then there are names like USD CAD. But my bias is right now down. Let's see how the week progresses. Okay. So let's now look at some of the charts where I think great action is, right? So my most preferable chart is USD CAD, EURCAD, sorry, and GBP CAD. And my reasoning is pretty simple. We went over it in the previous video. You can look at it in the previous video. This zone I said is damn important because we are covering with these levels, which I explained why in the previous video. If you haven't seen it, please go there. It is worth your time, trust me. So now we are doing this consolidation, and I think this can happen. Why do I say that? This trend is damn clear. It was a straight up move, and now we have a clear equal highs. We have a long wick, so drawn liquidity is damn clear. Can it go down? Sure. But I would like to bet like this that it should do this. And what I want to see is maybe a pullback a little bit, but then should hold this region. Now, if it doesn't hold this region, it comes here, then we'll reset the plan. I don't have any other great zone for it to, do like this right now at least. So I think this is great. Why? The fundamentals are aligning, the technicals are aligning, the news is aligning with EURCAD. Remember, if DXY legit shows weakness, Euro should show strength. Now let's go to GBP CAD, right? GBP has great big news this week, but, but it's later part of the week. So ideally, what I would like to see is something like this, and during the later part of the week, it comes back and then goes up. So maybe we get our second chance right here to take that trade. So that would be GBP CAD. I think this is a great zone. Now let's say we come down, right, and break these zones here, right? So what I would like to see is this area is damn important. I went through it in the previous week. Why? Look how it had bounced before, right? On this level. And then there is 8 hour demands here. So if you see at 8 hour, it's very beautifully said. We have great 8 hour demands here. So if it comes down, I would like to see something like this or something like this. Because as I said, it's later part of the week and we have to be ready for all the cases and I cannot predict the future. So I want you to note these areas because the price action here would be damn important. Now, the next names are according to the story, right? It would depend if USD legit shows weakness. If it does, I love this name. I love this name. Why? JPY are the pairs which have clear draw on liquidity on many names. So let me quickly, before going to USD JPY, show what I mean by that. So let's see CAD JPY. CAD JPY, clear equal lows here. Great down move, super strong down move. I think it will do this, but we'll go through it later. But then let's look at OR JPY. So OR JPY, clear double bottom, sorry, double equal levels. So equal high low here. Again, liquidity, again, strong move. So I think it can do it. So JPY is a pair and CAD is a pair which has clear drawn liquidity. So if JPY starts acting strong by itself, what we have is a great daily supply. What we think DXY should act bearish. So I think you can go down from here. Now, why do I love this chart? If you are wrong, you are wrong, right? If you are wrong, it happens, part of trading. But if you are right, you want to gain a lot. So if you are right, what is this move after two doji candles? Basically, these can form potential supply. So you do something. The move can be big. So by big, I mean I can see it testing this area, maybe this area, but at least this area. So that's why I love USDJPY. It forms our thesis with DXY adding weak again in resistance zone, in supply zone, right at the close of the week. So this can be something that starts acting immediately at the start of the week. So CAD JPY, why I love this is clear draw on liquidity. If you can get, and let me show you one more thing on this. This is the weekly high, right? This here. Now, what you have here is a long wick. Now let me show you uh monthly. You have a bearish engulfing. uh, you have a bearish engulfing on monthly. So you see this. So this is that region. So I really think what can happen is it doesn't even come here. It can just go down from here. But if it does go down from here, what you will have is a long wick. So then let's say you get a body like this, right? Then any move in this region can be shorted, right? So because what will happen is there's a huge candle and this long wick can act like supply, right? So here I think this can be legit good move, but keep in mind, let's say that doesn't happen, right? Then also if it comes back to this daily supply, you can short it, right? So I think that CAD JPY is something I really like. USD JPY I really like. Now let's go to Euro USD. Again, this is according to story. As I showed, why I like Euro USD and GBP USD is I think I'm mainly looking for buys is because of the futures chart that these are at legit good areas. So I went through it before, but let's see what is happening with weekly here. So why I like it is because look at this. This was the exact region where it bounced. Now you have a weekly high, almost like a breaker. So you come down, you can bounce it. So ideally, what I would like to see is don't go straight up. You bounce, show me the price action to bounce, and then I can trade this, right? Uh, I would like to trade. Uh, basically before the end of the week. I may just hold if it comes still here because if non-form can really break it. The second thing I really like is equal highs here. So you have a draw on liquidity. If it just bounces and gives me that price action, that would be great. let's look at GBP USD. Why I love this is, remember I said the news is at the later time of the week. So the reason I like this is look where it bounced. See, similar setup in Euro USD and GBP USD. So here it can be great, right? You will go through weekly low. You will have the area where it had bounced before. Then on monthly, these levels are important. You can see this, right? These two levels. So this whole zone is extremely important. Now, if it cuts through it, okay, then that's fine. But right now, because of my bias, I'm seeing something like this, right? Again, the drawn liquidity is more clear on Euro USD than GBP USD. But GBP USD has great news. So again, ideally, what I would like to see on GBP USD, and this is just being ready, right? Like I don't know if this will happen per se, but I'm not trading it blindly because of how DXY can start. But ideally, I would like to see this, and then during GBP USD news, let's say we come back here and go. That would be great combination, right? Uh, then we look at USD CAD. I wouldn't say I love this chart. Why? Because again, uh, it was chopping around for a long time, and I'm bearish DXY. But there is a setup, and I would like to just share it because I think if the price action there is strong, why not get into it for some quick scalping? So what you see is weekly bullish engulfing candle. So what you see is weekly levels here. In there, there's a great daily demand and also 8-hour demand, right? So which almost this acted like support here. So something like this. Not my favorite chart, right? Now let's talk about GBP CHF and Euro CHF, right? This was the trade mentioned last week. It I wouldn't say it hasn't worked. For me, GBP CHF worked better. I took this here. I talked about it last week. So this has gone there. Remember, next week, not this week, next week is CHF CPI. And they were talking about negative interest rates. So I'm really interested in CHF pairs. What goes against you in CHF pairs, which I forgot to mention last week, is overall, of course, this is a choppy chart on weekly, right? And that's why it's taking too much time. But one thing I wanted to mention is if DXY shows weakness, Euro can show strength. Now, what has happened is this is pure consolidation, right? So what can happen is, let me just remove all this. Yeah, what can happen is there can be arguments made for both side of the story. Why for both sides? Look how not even one daily candle has closed below. You can clearly see consolidation. Can it go up? Yes. Can it go down? Yes. I do think the probability of going higher is higher. And the reason is, look at this weekly candle. If it goes down, then you're done, right? You can say, okay, we are done. But you look at this weekly candle and look at GBP CHF, this weekly candle, right? The probability of a weekly candle coming down from here is less, right? So that's why I don't think it would be damn easy to go down, right? But there is an opportunity here. Let's say it goes down. This is a big region on daily, right? On weekly, we took support from weekly level. So ideally, you should not come below this. So what I can do is put a stop loss here, and if price comes here, look at the price action here. Because again, this is a chart which if it legit works, you have great drawn liquidity. So you can see something like this, right? So I wouldn't say like top chart. For me, clear drawn liquidity on multiple names is CAD names and JPY names. So my primary focus would be there. But GBP CHF and Euro CHF, I'm already in that. Uh, and this gave me torture whole week, but I'm holding it till it breaks this level, which I talked about last week. So that would be GBP CHF and Euro CHF. Uh, Again, just to go through it again, my primary focus is CAD and JPY, and my secondary focus would be CHF, depending on how the story, sorry, USD, how the story builds. If the story builds cleanly, if DXY cleanly shows weakness, then I think all the USD names, or USD, GBP, USD, Euro USD works for you. Ideally, you would look into Euro USD or GBP USD because Euro USD is almost inverse of GBP, sorry, USD, right? So that's my ideas for this week. I hope you liked this video. I hope this thought process made sense. I hope you make money this week. Please let me know how I can improve it there. If there are any particular topics for you that I should go through, I can definitely do that. But this is how I trade. This is what I look into, and I hope you learned something. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I really feel appreciated when that happens. I really feel great when that happens. So thank you so much. Have a good week, trading week, guys. Stay safe.